Hey guys, it's your girl, your legal bestie, attorney Simone. Come on in, come on in. We got a rant and rave today. It is Friday. I wanted to make sure I got a chance to talk to you guys because Lord only knows what this weekend will bring. So come on in. Y'all, on today's docket, initially it was just going to be a random kind of legal rant and rave covering a few different things, but we just received the sentence for Blueface. So come on in here. I know I'm a little bit late. Blueface has now been sentenced to 4 years. As a result, and his baby mama, one of them, Krishan, is facing 8 years. She is in an Oklahoma detention center awaiting her sentence for her probation violation. So both of these parents out here violating probation. So now, unfortunately, their child is going to be in the system. Yes, he will be part of the system. So we're going to talk about that. Come on in. Let me see where you are viewing from. Come on in. We're going to break it down real quick. And then I'm definitely going to spend more time on this weekend. But for now, I wanted to make sure we touch on it and get you guys' thoughts. So here's how it all broke down. And then we're going to talk about how we got here. And then we're going to talk about what happens to the child. Because it's really unfortunate that because this poor baby, it's not Krishan Jr. anymore. She actually changed the baby's name. The baby is now Jonathan Jr. Jonathan Jamal Porter Jr., actually, instead of Krishan Jr. I guess what with them getting back together and her tattooing his face all on her face, she just thought, oh, well, I should go ahead and, name the son after him. Oddly enough, Blueface does have an older boy, his first son, with Jaden, his high school sweetheart, who now decided she wants to be half gay. Another story. And that child was not a junior. So Krishan now has a junior that is Jonathan Jr., no longer Krishan Jr. So all this started, today's case, the results of today's case actually came from the fact that Blueface, back in 2021, he caught a case from misbehavior in Vegas. Let's share the screen for that one. Here we are. This one is, here we are. Where'd the other screen go? Hold on. We got it now. The heck? Hey, when my computer does this. There we go. All right. 1 second. There we are. Here they are. They're next to each other. All right. So back in 2021, this is back in 2021. Let's see. There's more. It's this article comes from this year, but it's kind of breaking down the prior. Hold on. The prior incident. Which was that it says more legal trouble for Blueface as he sits in an LA judge cell due to the fact that a judge in Las Vegas wants him arrested and brought to Nevada for an alleged probation violation. So he was initially, it says, according to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, a Nevada judge issued a bench warrant for Blueface's arrest for violating the terms of his probation. In case you forgot, Blueface is also on probation in Nevada as part of a plea deal that he cut in a Vegas strip club pow pow case. As was reported, Blueface got a suspended sentence in that case, where he was getting hit with 3 years of probation. He did not have to do jail time. He got 3 years of probation and no jail time if he simply kept his nose clean. Interestingly, Blueface's mom was actually upset with Krishan that Blueface took the probation. Why? Because Blueface had the option to either take probation or do 6 months, but not be on probation. Now, some career criminals like to just sit it out and do their time because they know they can't follow rules, can't follow structure, and will simply get violated on probation. So Carlissa feels like he should have just done the 6 months in jail, rather than taking the probation offer because he wouldn't be in this condition, in this situation he is in today, which is true. And that is because today he is in trouble for violating the probation, which again would not have even been an issue if he actually served the 6 months. But see, if you don't have that criminal mindset, and that criminal mindset that says, I can't follow rules, I'm going to just keep breaking the law, you may not think of it from that perspective. So, again, so he got 3 years probation and no jail time for the Las Vegas, Nevada strip club shooting incident. Okay. But however, a probation violation could get him locked up for a few years, the article states. Now, in terms of what he actually did to violate this probation in Vegas, this is what's so stupid. He violated the Vegas strip club shooting probation by having his first baby mama, Jada, fight some girl that came up on the stage. That's how petty this was. Remember, when we were talking about Krishan in earlier this week and her antics and how she's facing 8 years, I was talking about the fact that probation officers can use film and footage from all these TV shows and all of social media where she's cutting up and she's fighting people. Any of that is fair fodder. Well, that's what happened here. Criminal charges were not, it appears that criminal charges weren't filed as a result of this nightclub incident where Blueface had Jada fight this girl. However, the girl did file a civil lawsuit. So that's what brought it to the attention of the current judge. The judge reviewed all of the facts. Now, Carlissa was having like a little prayer chain, prayer warriors, want everybody to gather around and pray for her wayward son so that he could be released. He's already been in jail now for 440 days, awaiting the sentencing on this probation violation. So Miss Thing wanted a prayer chain. She wanted all this stuff. No, we wouldn't have to pray on these violations if you had just raised your child right. He needs to sit still because he cannot function in society with regular people. The fact that you are sicking your baby mom who has an infant at the house, in addition to your son, you're sicking her on someone else so that she could have got arrested. She could have got assault charges, etc. Goes to show how undisciplined this young man is. But in addition, so their hope was that he would simply the judge would reinstate, like revoke. You can have your probation revoked and then reinstate it, simply giving him credit for the 440 days. That is absolutely on the table. Here's why the judge didn't do it here, because he don't know how to act. While in jail, he was caught having smuggled in marijuana. He had drugs on him. So while he's in jail awaiting sentencing on this, he gets caught with drugs, which is another violation. So we have 2 violations for the same charge. This is why the judge threw the book at him and gave him the max, which was 4 years. Now, here's what's going to happen with the baby. So next, let me tell you about Krishan. Krishan is facing 8 years. She has 2 charges. Her 2 charges are basically possession of a controlled substance. It's believed that it is actually weed, not white girl is the other drug. Y'all know what I'm talking about, or anything like that. There was a rumor that it was like crack. No, it was no crack. It was marijuana. And then the second charge is failure to pay for a tax stamp on the medication, right? On the drugs. That is it's a very technical charge for trumped up for country town, Oklahoma. That's because there are certain controlled substances, like think of like Adderall, think of, OxyContin, those kinds of controlled substances, right? Where because of the opioid crisis and stuff that they were dealing with, they were charging taxes or extra fees on those types of controlled substances. So this law applies to all controlled substances, basically. And obviously, if you have an illegal drug, you ain't paying for no tax stamp on it. Okay. Oklahoma is just ridiculous. Oklahoma is utterly ridiculous. So we're just clear on that. So But what she's facing is 4 years for each of the charges. She has 2 charges. And her violation was assaulting James Wright, Tamar's backup singer. That charge is likely a misdemeanor. What I want you to see here, guys, is how these two people have just turned their lives upside down simply because they couldn't keep their hands to themselves for goofiness. And what's more, what's the point of walking around with security if you're going to run around beating people up yourself? At least if you had security, you would be limiting yourself to basically a civil court matter, not losing your freedom for 4 years or 8 years. So Krishan's facing 8 years. Will she get that? I don't know. I think it's more likely she'll get 4 years. So maybe they'll be twins. They'll be jailbird twins, 4 and 4. The reason I say that it may be more likely that for her violation, she'll get 4 years is due to the fact that the 2 crimes are for the same incident. Each of the crimes, which is having the drugs, as well as not having a tax stamp on the drugs, which nobody's going to have. They're both 4-year terms, and most judges will run a sentence. If you were getting sentenced for the first time, they would run it concurrently, meaning at the same time. So that's why I see it as though more than likely she would be facing closer to 4 years if given the max. And I believe that this judge is going to look at all the little rigmarole going on with this girl. The face tattoo. Let me tell you something. When you come into court with a face tattoo, it tells the judge you are a career criminal. Even if you're not, you look like one. Okay, you're wearing the uniform. So things that you don't get in podunk towns like Oklahoma towns, when you are any kind of girl of any color walking in with a face tattoo, is mercy, the benefit of the doubt. The more you look like that judge's sister or mama, the more benefit of the doubt you get. Makes sense? She probably looks like somebody who mugged his sister or her mama. That's what happens when you put a face tattoo on your face. So, needless to say, there's no expectation that she's going to get mercy out of the Oklahoma court system. So the question becomes, what happens to the baby? And the answer is that the baby will now officially have to be a part of the CPS system. Now, it doesn't mean the child will go into foster care. Nope, not saying that. The first thing that happens is that they're going to basically open up a case. The child will be part of the case, and they first like to see who within the family would be willing to take on the child. Now, mind you, lean in. This has to be someone, cannot be a felon, can't be a criminal, can't have men running in and out of your house, preferably someone who is either married or don't have a bunch of people running in and out of your house. And it has to be someone who, if needed, could qualify to be a foster parent. I'm not saying they have to go through the class, but could qualify. So that generally means the same criteria that you'd have to satisfy to be a foster parent, which can't be on drugs. Like I said, you can't be a recent felon. You can't, none of that stuff. And you can't have any pending charges. So that means even if Jada wanted to take this other baby, I don't know that the system would allow it due to the fact that Jada was part of the whole situation that caused the probation violation, because it's related to Jada beating up a girl. They're not going to put a baby with someone with an open investigation into you beating up someone else because you don't have good sense. So they're going to look within the family, that's Krishan's family and Blueface's family, to see who would be a good fit. And then whichever relative that they choose to place the child with, then there's going to be checkups. There's going to be a variety of things. So I say that to say this actually could be one of the best things for that child, because now that child is going to have some type of structure because the system requires it. So Lady Dimples says, oops, let me move that over. Here we go. Lady Dimple says, so I guess the grandparents can't have them. They can. Absolutely. Either the grandparents can have them, as I'm assuming that Carlissa's husband or whoever she lives with isn't, a criminal, doesn't have any recent. By recent, I mean like within the last 10 years. I'm assuming that's not the case. Either the grandparents can't. But multiple people can raise their hand and say, I'm willing to do it. And then the system will make a determination of who is the most fit and most appropriate, right? It's my understanding that the father, Blueface's father, is living in one of his mansions. I don't know if he wants the baby. I don't know if perhaps the two of them want to go in and say, we will both take care of the child. But part of it is also going to be, you got to have some income or access to resources at least. Now, mind you, Blueface's house was rumored to be in foreclosure. I haven't had a chance to look at that because this just happened today, but you know I'm gonna pull them records. It was rumored to be in foreclosure. And within the last year, if you remember, well, before he was in jail, he went on the internet and had this picture of him and Jada. This is while he was estranged from Krishan, basically showing, oh, that he had bought her a house. Lies. He rented her a house. So the question becomes, all right, now that he's gonna be away for 4 years, who paying the bills? So much of their money was shows, it was social media. You can't make money from social media when you're in prison because you're not having the same social media access. I don't know that people really buy his music all like that. So who's going to pay all these bills for this family? They might need to, if the house is in foreclosure, this is the time to sell it right quick, fast, in a hurry, if there's any equity, because you're going to need to sell that so that whoever has to take care of your kids, plural, because Kashan's baby is not the Blueface only child, but you're going to need somebody to take care of all three of these kids and Jada, because Jada ain't got no job. Now, Jada may make, Jaden, sorry, I'm calling her Jada. Jaden may make money from social media. People like watching her. Bless her heart. Mm. Oh, yep. And Purple Rain. Good to see you, Purple Rain. You always have the tea. Purple Rain made the great statement that said, yeah, he's also in debt with his label. Yeah, you're right. Well, interestingly, everybody seems to be in debt to Whack 100. Everyone that works with him. That would always be questionable, y'all. If everyone managed by the same person is always in debt to that same person, how great of a manager are you? I don't know. Maybe everyone just lives outside of their means. But yeah, he's supposed to be in debt with the label. He owes the label records. Oh, that's the other thing. So if you're in a music contract that says you have to provide so many records to get out of that deal for the deal to be concluded, well, they have provisions. And those provisions, because I've done many of these contracts, they say if there's like an incident where something where you are what's called incapacitated, that the deal just is on hold. You still owe those. So if it was a 5-year deal, the deal is on hold till he gets out of prison, out of luck. Now, based on the way that time is calculated, it's expected that he should be home. He is in Blueface in about 10 months. And that's because he's going to get, it was 4-year sentence. He's going to get credit for 440 days. But also, when you do state time in California, they give you credit like it's not day for day. Feds are day for day. In the state of California, according to WAC 100, I need to double check it. He's claiming that 1 day counts for 3 days. Now in Texas, every day in county counts for 3 days. And then every day in a state prison, I believe, counts for 2. But it varies. It counts for 2. Um, I beat the shit said WAC 100 is whack. That is true. Okay, gotcha. And Purple Rain said he started doing the Blue Girls Club OnlyFans because his own popularity was dying down. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. So basically, the summary of it is Blueface is going to have to serve 4 years, which has been sentenced to 4 years, which in effect is going to look more like 10 months ish based on California calculations, assuming he don't pick up any charges while he's in there. I feel like the way this man don't like following rules, I could see him picking up charges for having a cell phone when he's not supposed to, for having drugs, like he already got the extra charge for state. So here in county, rather, in county, part of the reason why the judge, again, gave him the full 4 years, gave him the max, is he had 2 probation violations. One violation was when it was found out that he had Jada go fight some girl at one of his shows because he didn't like the girl. He got mad at the girl. And the second one was while sitting in county waiting to get his sentence for this, he is caught with marijuana on him. Yeah, so he just can't even get it right. Yeah, 10 months ain't terrible. Uh-uh. I mean, this is that I don't speak prison. I'm glad you're breaking it down. Thank you. Yeah. So 10 months he'll be out, but Krishan, I don't know. I don't know how. See, what is it? Oklahoma time is calculated differently. Every state is calculated differently. So Blueface facing 4 years is going to look like 10 months because of the way California time and credit is calculated. Because remember, he's already been sitting there, they said, for 440 days. Then for Krishan, she likely will get sentenced to 4 years as well, or something along those lines. And we don't know what that would look like day to day. Now, as far as actual time she'll have to serve. And most importantly, there's always a chance that Krishan's probation would be violated and they would simply reinstate it. It could happen. I doubt it, for reasons I've disclosed before. Basically, Oklahoma hates celebrity crime. They don't like people coming into their state committing crimes. They like to make examples out of you. Plus, it is an election year. So that means that the DA is up for election. Generally, the judges are up for election. The prosecutors, if prosecutors are running for judge, they're up for election too. And the best way to make a name for yourself in a small town is to be the one that took the celebrity that brought drugs to Oklahoma. Bam. And that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, I got to go. Thanks for seeing you. If you're just joining the live now, make sure roll it on back so you hear the full story. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share this on your Facebook page. I really appreciate all of the shares, the likes, and the new subscribers. Thanks. It's your legal bestie, Attorney Simone.